Emmerdale has released first-look footage of Cain and Charity Dingle's special two-hander episode, and things are looking tense between the former couple. The popular characters take center stage in next Wednesday's visit to the Dales, March 25th, which sees Charity step up to support Cain as he spirals. Cain is facing his toughest year yet after being diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he doesn't have his wife Moira around to help him as she's locked up for crimes she didn't commit. Their family have also lost Butler's farm following Moira's reluctant decision to sell up to the Tates. In scenes airing next week, Cain takes his frustrations out on his brother Sam, who makes a mistake that jeopardizes plans for a new Dingle farm. When Cain storms off following his clash with his sibling, concerned Charity follows him home and expresses her concerns over his excessive drinking. Hit play on the preview clip below to see how it all goes from there. Cain turns rude and defensive following Charity's intervention, questioning why he'd take advice from the biggest car crash going. Charity replies, and he's off. The minute he gets called out on his own nonsense, the lashing out begins. You're not the first person to get cancer, you know. In a veiled reference to her own baby-related crisis, Charity warns Cain that he's not the only person with problems. When Cain demands to know what's troubling Charity, will she tell him that the baby she's carrying isn't Sarah and Jacob's? Teasing this episode in a recent chat, Jeff Hordley, who plays Cain, explained, "It was really beautifully written, a really lovely episode, easy to learn and easy to perform. I always say this, but I'm really lucky and feel very grateful that throughout my time on this show, I've always been surrounded by really strong female actresses. You know, from Emma Atkins, Charity, to Natalie J. Robb, Moira, to Lucy Pargeter, Chaz, to Charlie Webb, Debbie, and now Katie Hill, Sarah. I've always got these strong females around me who make it a breeze." The diagnosis had come quietly. Too quietly. No dramatic warning. No cinematic moment. Just a doctor's voice, calm and measured, saying words that didn't feel real. Prostate cancer. Cain hadn't reacted. Not properly. He'd nodded. Stared. Left. And then carried on like nothing had changed. Because that's what Cain Dingle did. He didn't break. He didn't cry. He didn't fall apart. At least, not where anyone could see. Chapter 2, Missing Pieces. But everything was different now. Moira was gone. Moira Dingle, his wife, his anchor, was locked away for crimes she didn't commit. And without her, the world felt unstable. Like walking on ground that might give way at any second. The farm was gone too. Sold. Handed over to the Tates. Another piece of his life taken. Another thing he couldn't fix. Chapter 3, The Breaking Point. It didn't take much. It never did when everything was already stretched too thin. Inside the cramped, noisy space of the Dingle home, tension sparked fast. Sam Dingle had meant well. He always did. But, meaning well, didn't stop things from going wrong. "You've messed it up." Cain snapped, his voice cutting through the room like a blade. Sam blinked, confused. "I was just trying." "Yeah, well don't." The room fell silent. Everyone knew that tone. The one that said Cain wasn't really angry about this. He was angry about everything. Chapter 4, Walking Away. Cain stormed out before anyone could respond. The door slammed behind him with a force that echoed long after he was gone. Outside, the cold air hit him hard. But it wasn't enough. Nothing was enough. Not the air. Not the drink. Not the anger. Chapter 5, She Follows. "You're not exactly subtle, you know." The voice came from behind him. Charity Dingle. Of course it was. Cain didn't turn around. "Go away." Charity didn't. She never did. Instead, she stepped closer, arms folded, watching him like she could see straight through every wall he'd built. "You've been drinking," she said. And it's not helping." Cain let out a dry laugh. "You suddenly an expert now?" Chapter 6, Old Sparks. Charity rolled her eyes. "Oh, here we go," she muttered. "The minute someone calls you out, you start swinging." Cain turned then, his expression sharp. "You think you've got the right to lecture me?" "I think someone has to," she shot back. He stepped closer. "Why would I take advice from the biggest car crash going?" The words landed hard. But Charity didn't flinch. She never had. Chapter 7, Fighting Fire with Fire. "And he's off," she snapped. Deflect, insult, repeat. Classic Cain. "Don't start." "Oh, I've already started." She stepped forward, matching his intensity. "You're not the first person to get cancer, you know." That hit. Harder than anything else. For a second, just a second, Cain's mask cracked. But it was gone as quickly as it appeared. "You've got no idea what this is like." Charity's expression shifted. Something deeper. Something raw. Don't I? Chapter 8, Unspoken Truths. The air between them changed. This wasn't just about Cain anymore. It never was. There's a lot going on, Charity said quietly. Cain frowned. What's that supposed to mean? She hesitated. And that was new. Charity Dingle didn't hesitate. Not like this. Chapter 9, The Question. Cain's voice softened, just slightly. What's wrong? Charity looked away. For once, she didn't have a quick answer. Didn't have a sharp comeback. Just silence. You gonna tell me? Cain pressed. She swallowed. Because the truth was sitting right there. Heavy. Unavoidable. The baby. The secret. The thing she hadn't said out loud yet. Chapter 10, The Edge of Truth. I can't, she said finally. Cain's expression darkened again. Course you can't. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Charity shook her head. You're not the only one falling apart right now. The words lingered. And for the first time that night, Cain didn't have an answer. Chapter 11, Cracks in the Armor. They stood there in silence. Two people who had been through everything together. Love. Hate. Loss. And still somehow this. You're scared, Charity said softly. Cain scoffed, but it wasn't convincing. Don't be stupid. You are, she insisted. And instead of dealing with it, you're pushing everyone away. He looked at her then. Really looked. And something shifted. Chapter 12, The Truth Beneath. What if I can't fix this? He asked quietly. The question hung in the air. Heavy. Honest. And completely unlike him. Charity's expression softened. You don't have to fix everything. That's all I've ever done. Yeah, she said gently. And look where that's got you. Chapter 13, The Weight They Carry. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Because some truths didn't need words. They were written in the silence. In the way Cain's shoulders dropped slightly. In the way Charity stayed, when she could have walked away. Chapter 14, Not Alone. You're not doing this on your own, Charity said. Cain let out a breath. Feels like I am. Well, you're not. She stepped closer. And this time, he didn't pull away. Chapter 15, The Beginning of Something. It wasn't a resolution. It wasn't a fix. But it was something. A moment. A crack in the walls. A reminder that even people like Cain Dingle didn't have to carry everything alone.